Doctor Who: The Early Adventures. Domain of the Voord.
The Voord rule here.
The Doctor's Tale.
Sir Ian of Jaffa, at your service.
The Bounty of Ceres.
Anomalous human material.
An Ordinary Life.
We are here. We are here.
Welcome YouTubers and Doctor Who fanatics to the first proper video for 2015. A fresh new start for the channel it is for 2015, and today, to kick-start 2015, I will be doing an overview of a Big Finish range which has just concluded its Season 1, which is the Early Adventures. It has been very popular with the Big Finish fans when it just started as well. And yeah, for this overview, I basically doing what I did in Season 3, the Tom Baker ones, where I explain the range, of course, of the Early Adventures. Then I will rank all the stories in order by my own preference, of course. And then, I forgot to do this in the Season 3 of Tom Baker Adventures, I will rate the entire season. For some knowledge about the Early Adventures, it first started out with the Companion Chronicles, where it started in January 2007, and they always released a Companion Chronicle every month, just like the monthly range, but sadly ended its reign with second chances at June 2014. But that is now included, that they have confirmed a box set for the First Doctor releasing in June 2015. So we all thought the Companion Chronicles ended, but they have another release coming in June 2015, which looks quite exciting. But they wanted to make another range since the departure of the Companion Chronicles called the Early Adventures, and the Early Adventures will be every year to September to December. And yeah, so there's a long wait between different seasons, but all the ones from Season 1 have come out, and I've got them all. Well, there they are. Yeah, the ones featuring in Season 1 is all First Doctor Adventures, and it is a Domain of the Voord, the Doctor's Tale, the Bounty of Ceres, and An Ordinary Life. So in this video, for the second part, I will be ranking all the stories in order. So, and for a brilliant thing, all the stories are positive. So Big Finish have made a very successful and absolutely fantastic start to the Early Adventures. And yeah, like I say, they were all positive and all really good stories. So yeah, this is going to be a very good positive video, and it was quite hard to rank these all in order, since I've listened to it all in a second time to gather new positives and new negatives, so I've now confirmed an actual rating to do this video. So, we'll be starting with 4th place, which is last place. So on number 4 on the list, and unfortunately last, it is The Doctor's Tale, getting a rating of 7 out of 10, written by Mark Platt, which is a pure historical story, and it definitely does feel like The Crusade a little bit. If you're a big fan of The Crusade, you will like the story a lot. But the reason why this is in last place, but still I'll go to the positives first, that there was an excellent cast in this, were really comedic and really engaging throughout. What makes this story thingy for me, it's a pure historical story, and I suffered listening to this all in one go because it felt quite dry in some places. It was very difficult to cling to the storyline a little bit, but still it's a very good storyline, is where like a corrupt leader wants to take over pretty much, and it's a very good one. So it has some great casting members like the enemy, Sir Robert de Wensley, played by Joseph Kloske, I think his name is, I can't say his last name very well, but yeah, he was an excellent villain in this story, very devious in this, very menacing in this story, like a very corrupt person that wants to overrule everyone as well. And yeah, the sound design really makes it feel that it's set in a pure historical event, which is like 1400, so yeah, it definitely captured the William Hartnell historicals, absolutely. So The Doctor's Tale, unfortunately gets last place, but still was an absolute cracking story, but the other stories were much better than this. I wasn't really looking forward to this one as much as the other ones. Yeah, The Doctor's Tale, pure historicals are quite hard to listen to on audio throughout, and I did have a break on this one, because I did need it. So yeah, 7 out of 10 goes for The Doctor's Tale. I did rate it at 7.5 in my review. So yeah, it has gone down because of that slight issue. But you need to have a break on it, or you will possibly not like it. But still, They did a very good job of capturing William Hartnell's classic era with the historicals. Entertaining, funny dialogue, and a great storyline. So at number 3, we have An Ordinary Life. This one got an 8 out of 10, and this one was written by the fantastic Matt Fitton, who has written the whole of Dark Eyes 3, and that was absolutely fantastic. He's also written some other big finishes. I cannot think of them up the top of my head, but still, I'm not sure if I have got a bad story from him so far. I don't think so, really. It'd be hard, because I haven't listened to every story he's written so far, but so far all of them have been great. But An Ordinary Life was absolutely a brilliant story. It's a very brilliant character piece, this one is. I absolutely love this adventure. The thing that makes it slog down a little bit is part 1 is very sluggish, and like nothing really big happens in the story. It's rather straightforward, so don't get like too thin, like oh the whole thing's gonna be like this. But yeah, part 1 is really introduced the characters where, say, the Doctor, Stephen, and Sarah Kingdom have lost their TARDIS. The Doctor's ill, and Stephen and Sarah have to find help pretty much, and they find the Newman family. They have to get help for them. They have to force because they've lost their home, the TARDIS, and they have to basically live an ordinary life. Yeah, hence the name, the title. But then as the story progresses, it really takes a big turn, it does, and what they see is not what it actually seems to be, and it's a very clever tale. And this script was 4 years in planning, because no writer could actually make the story work. They tried to make it a pure historical, but it was too boring and it didn't work right. So Matt Fitton added some really good elements to the story, and it worked fantastically. Yeah, this story has been was going to happen a very long time ago. No writers could make it work correctly, and Matt Fitton did a great job of making it work. It did. There was a fantastic supporting characters in this story, as well as a very interesting enemy. They remind me of the chameleons from the Feast. This one's have a very mysterious thing going around. It reminds me a little bit like yeah, An Ordinary Life is a brilliant story. My only faults with it is part 1 may be quite slow, but I think that's still a good thing, because it just takes a turn in a really good direction. But the Doctor's hardly even in it. He's only in part 4, really, sadly enough. It's really just focused on Sarah Kingdom and Stephen Taylor, but still it's brilliant. The Doctor takes charge in this episode in part 4, like, stand aside, the Doctor's here sort of scene. So yeah, overall, An Ordinary Life is a brilliant story, and it seems to be going really well with the fans as well, so that's a good thing. So number 2, we've only got 2 left. We got, actually the wrong way around, Domain of the Voord and the Bounty of Ceres. Now both of these are absolutely fantastic stories. These are the ones which actually I was most looking forward to, because those two were a little unsure about their traits, but they actually still turned fantastically. So you can guess which one will come second place or first place and see over right. So you're going to see what comes second place right after this millisecond cut. So second place goes to Domain of the Voord. Yeah, Domain of the Voord was an absolutely fantastic start to the early Adventures range. It is the sequel to The Keys of Marinus, and yeah, basically they put a lot more history into the Voord, because the Voord in The Keys of Marinus were a very one-dimensional villain. We didn't know too much about them. They were hardly even in The Keys of Marinus, so there wasn't really good development going around them, really, and they're just like a, sort of just a normal monster race, pretty much, with nothing clever or special really going on. Rather, they just want to take the keys and use them as a weapon. And I can't really remember Keys of Marinus too well, but Domain of the Voord is an absolutely fantastic, jam-packed action story. It's absolutely brilliant. I remember loving part 1. It was full of action. It clinged to the story. Great introducing with the characters as well. It's like a little a sign which I really like in Domain of the Voord is where in The Keys of Marinus, what's his name? Ian had a fight with a Voord where he punches him off into the acid sea. But he fights a Voord in this as well. It is like much more darker. Like the Voord are much more aggressive in this story, and hatred to humanity, and it is pretty good. It is. Part 2 I remember being really sluggish and slow. I did. It's where they interrogate one of the Voord which was captured and all like that. Part 3 is sort of like a rebellion was growing. Then part 4 was absolutely fantastic. Brilliant battle sequences as well, and Again, some really good dark directions as well, which I will not spoil whatsoever. But the Voord have a very creepy past. They do. It seems, yeah, it is really creepy. They used to be a very noble and mature race that they used to teach their children and all of that. But leaders forged up and completely corrupt the Voord's way of life, pretty much, and now they are a corrupt race around the galaxy. So yeah, this one was absolutely incredible, and it definitely deserves a #2 spot. And An Ordinary Life was very close to this, but I think Domain of the Voord scratches it by being more creative, by the monsters of it having a really good past. As well, the general idea was a little bit more better and well done, more than An Ordinary Life, but still Matt Fitton did well in An Ordinary Life, and Andrew Smith did fantastically on Domain of the Voord, definitely a lot better than its predecessor, which is the Keys of Marinus, which features like before the events of Keys of Marinus. So yeah, it's definitely a lot better. So well done Andrew Smith to him for writing a brilliant, good story. So yeah, and you don't have to listen to these in order. There's no order for them whatsoever. So you can listen to this one first, the third story first, the fourth, the second. Doesn't really matter because they don't link. That's why that's good about the early adventures. You can just get whatever you want to. If you miss like the first one and say, oh, I have to backtrack to remember the second one, for example, like that. But no, you don't have to do it for the early adventures. No, we're going from #1. #1 goes to the Bounty of Ceres. I knew by just looking at this when I'm reading the trailer, listening to the trailer and reading the symbolics, that this one would earn its #1, and it did earn its #1. This one I rated an 8 out of 10 in my review. I give it an 8.5 now because I think it deserves it. It doesn't scratch a 9 definitely, because that will be marking it as good as Masters of Earth, but it's not as good as Masters of Earth. But still, I class it as the best early adventure story because it feels like the Doctor's more a part of the story in this one, while Domain of the Voord and the Doctor's Tale he wasn't, which I'm not really like fan of that. Sorry, An Ordinary Life I wasn't a fan of. He was quite of a bit in the story with the Doctor's Tale, but Bounty of Ceres is absolutely incredible. It starts with the Doctor meddling with one of the Time Meddler's inventions or whatever into the TARDIS, so it makes me to believe that this one's featured after the Time Meddler and before Galaxy 4, so I believe. I don't know, it doesn't say on the back where it's featured from, but I think it is after the Time Meddler. But again, it was just absolutely fantastic. Really good base sense of siege moments in this story, and I can't really fault this one either. I would like a bit more character development between the two companions, which was Vicky and Stephen, because it makes me to believe that they just only met, but they don't really seem to be interacting very well together. But with the supporting characters, that's the thing, but not to each other. That's the only thing which I would have wanted from this audio, but still it was fantastic. Really interesting concept, really interesting enemies in this, very base energy siege, as I just said. And yeah, I think it's an absolutely fantastic story. I can see it being a TV story, definitely from probably the Patrick Troughton era, because it feels so based into siege. So this feels more of a Troughton story, and I think it would work. Let's see if it reminds me a little bit of, just looking at some of the TV stories. I can't really picture one. Probably the Moonbase, I guess. It reminds me a little bit of. Like, they're just trapped in one place and they have to get out, really. Yeah, probably the Moonbase, I would say. So yeah, Bounty of Ceres definitely deserves #1. That was my ranking of the early adventures for Season 1. So yeah, 4th place with a 7 out of 10, The Doctor's Tale. 3rd place with an 8 out of 10, and An Ordinary Life. 2nd place with an 8 out of 10, but it's a more stronger 8 than An Ordinary Life, but I still don't think it gets an 8.5. Domain of the Voord. And 1st place with an 8.5 out of 10. The Bounty of Ceres, and that concludes it. As well, I can rank the entire season of the early adventures. I will give an 8 out of 10 for Season 1 of the early adventures. It was an absolute brilliant roller coaster of a ride. All 4 stories are absolutely brilliant, none of them are bad, and yeah, that's good. Brilliant, a brilliant start for Season 1, and I am looking forward to the other seasons yet to come. The next story, which is going to be a Patrick Troughton story in Season 2, which I cannot wait for, is by, I forgot the writer, but the story's called The Yes Man, and it sounds, apparently it's going to be one of the strongest scripts. The Early Adventures is a brilliant range, I would say. I'm glad that I actually got into it, because when I looked at it, I said, looks a bit like the Companion Chronicles. I'm not the biggest fan of the Companion Chronicles, so would I really like the early adventures, but I just went anyway, just pick up Domain of the Voord just to like get a little taste of it, but I loved it, and I just got addicted, and I got all 4 of them from the early adventures range, and it was worth it. So yeah, 8 out of 10 for the early adventures range, and yeah, that's for the first video 2015, well, a more proper one, I guess. I don't include the vlog video, but yeah, you can put in the comments which story intrigues you the most. I will put in the link in the description to all the reviews of Domain of the Voord, the Doctor's Tale, Bounty of Ceres, and Another in Life, so you can have a more in-depth insight into all those stories individually. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for our next video, which is a review of the Philip Hinchcliffe box set. That one will be a whopper. So have a good one, everyone.